Thank you so much for joining me today, and another great interview with a successful Aussie online entrepreneur. And today I am joined by the ever exuberant Kate Ingham. A huge thank you for joining me today, Kate.
Hi everyone. Thanks, Neil.
You're very, very welcome. Thanks for taking time out of your very busy schedule. Kate, I want to get started by talking a little bit, not about Amazon, but about some of the other things that you've done as far as your business career goes, because you've had quite an illustrious business career. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Okay, well, look, my first serious job, other than designing surfing magazines, was I drove out to Burke and ran a radio station, a community radio station, and all the way through my career. So I was media trained, and then moved into film and television and worked with some serious directors, Bruce Beresford and George Miller, and range of actors, Jack Thompson, and those sorts of characters. So that was the beginnings of my career, and increasingly, I realised project funding was central to everything that I did, and I was mentored by a film industry producer who took me under a wing and decided that I was producer material. But I also looked around and saw these people living fairly nomadic lives, and I wasn't entirely sure that that was kind of the life that I wanted, in the sense that it was, I just wanted a little bit more in my life. And so I ended up moving into project financing. I had a period where I was a senior executive with a government agency overseeing funding programs, and I became, I suppose, a bit of an expert of finding dollars under rocks.
Sure.
And to fund projects. And then I ended up moving into the capital raising game, and being a very early person in the startup scene. So I've worked with a whole lot of early stage businesses and looked at opportunities that were out in the marketplace, and advised a lot of startups around their business strategies, their e-commerce strategies, and the opportunities that were where the trends were going.
So you have in your career then spoken to and seen a vast array of different startups, so different strategies to build a business.
Thousands of them.
And so
thousands and thousands. At one stage, I also advised the state government. I provide the advisory service for the Innovation Advisory Service. So in that, our KPIs were thousands a year of startups to talk to.
Wow. So given that you've seen so many different paths to entrepreneurship, what was it that made you ultimately choose Amazon as your path?
Okay. There's moments in time. And 10 years ago, it was the eBay moment.
Yes.
And the people that got on the eBay bus did extremely well. And I watched a lot of people get on the eBay bus and make great dollars with it. In fact, my son-in-law came out with a bike conversion kit and ended up with, having to move factory to factory because of the logistics of the amount of containers that he was bringing in.
Wow.
And so I watched this business kind of grow, and at the same time, capital raising for early stage businesses where people don't get what you're doing. They don't understand quite what the opportunity is. They don't quite understand the technology. Is tough going.
Sure.
And, so I've seen, you've really got to have a cracker of an idea to land the dollars and scale a business and do it successfully. And you've got to have the right team around you and all of those elements. I find myself 2 hours south of Sydney. I'm a sole parent, and I've got to keep the the wolves from the door than do my bit. And so I'm kind of interested in something that I can do remotely, that I can work, being a mum and being available as a mum, and that it wasn't going to take me 24/7, which media and being a startup is about.
Sure.
It's that sort of thing. You've got to be obsessive for, and it's 24/7, and I can't do that because I've got a child. So when the Amazon thing, when I became really aware of that opportunity, I thought, right, this is the zeitgeist moment. This is the moment where Australia is known as being early adopters. There are a lot of Australians already working the platform. When it opens, they're traditional. Pretty well everybody with a computer is going to check it out.
Sure.
And I thought, not a bad spot to have your product when the entire Australian population is going to check it out. And, the biggest difficulty is getting eyeballs to a website. I'm very aware of that from my marketing background, and the fact that Amazon is already executing that side of it for you. Yep, there's a cost associated with that, but it's like footfall into a shop. You kind of say that that's a cost of doing business.
So you said that one of the difficulties is getting eyeballs to a website. What does that mean? Because a lot of people think, all you need to do to make money online is set up a Shopify store or a drop shipping store. They think that's pretty much all you need to do. What's the reality? That's
nonsense. So a large part of business is actually getting the leads, getting the clients to the place where they will see the offer, understand the offer, relate to the offer, and want to initiate, acquiring the offer.
Sure.
So, and that's quite a sophisticated process to do that. The fact that Amazon, you've still got to do your marketing strategy, you've got to still do your pay-per-click campaign, but it's like, your shop is in a mall.
Yes, that's a nice analogy.
The trick is to get the people that are walking past to look into your shop.
Yeah.
That's what an Amazon listing is about. And as opposed to having a shop, on a back street that nobody's wandering past. And that for me is the advantage of Amazon. And, there's some great stories out there, the people, the one product that, does delivers, some great results. And, we've got a range of products in the American market that are doing, really well, and they're quiet little achievers, and they didn't cost a whole lot, and we market them probably in not the most sophisticated way, but they're good little hard-working earners, and I can see that happening in Australia.
I remember one of the moments which I thought was fantastic was when you were talking at one of the training seminars that I've seen you speak at. You were showing people the orders coming in for your products on Amazon, and I thought that was, as an entrepreneur, it's one of the greatest things you can see is all the money coming into your account.
Yeah, it's cool. It's seriously cool, and it's happening while we're sleeping, and every day it's happening. Every day. I've got it coming into a second account that I don't look at all the time. All the
obsessed
emails.
By it. I got obsessed by mine. Let's check.
Yeah, ka-chung, 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 ka-chung. And it's seriously cool, and we're going through the process of your hack, which is the 41 million. Latino speakers.
Oh, so you're doing that? Great.
We're doing a variation at the moment, and adding a Spanish language listing as a variation of our existing products.
Done. That's fantastic.
So it will be interesting to see how people respond to that.
Yeah, that's good.
So, and we've actually got the product language in Spanish as well. So we'll see, and then we'll be marketing. It was interesting because Our market is tween girls. And the first review that we got was a father who was a bit slack. And you could see, he had the girl, he liked the subject, but, what he really liked was it came in its little cute package.
Yes.
And that he didn't have to gift wrap it. And he said, and it was a kind of slack father comment. And clearly, straight after that, we got a whole lot of fathers buying this product.
Did you? That's fantastic.
Yeah,
she can't hear me. I just got my eldest daughter, Isabella. I just got one of her presents on Amazon.com. I just got one of her presents, and I picked, and there was a range of different things I could have picked, and this one said gift wrapped, and I thought, perfect.
Well, we're getting a lot of the fathers. It's hysterical, and we're just about to target grandmothers.
Are you? For
the Christmas run-up.
Now, without revealing what your product line is and things like that, because we keep those sort of things very secret. However, how did you decide what to sell? What was your kind of decision-making process? I know a lot of people will be sitting there going, "This sounds fantastic, but what do I sell? How do I know what to sell?"
It was funny because I took on. I had been doing stuff myself, but I realised, I'm juggling a bunch of different things, and this woman met with me, and the state government had recommended that she meet with me, and I said, she pitched me her business, and I said, can I pitch you my business? And so I pitched her the Amazon business, and before long we decided to partner. And she's great. She's kind of IT savvy, and she's also a mum, so she's looking for the gig on the side.
Yeah.
And I said, look, we're going to go through exactly textbook. We're going to do the process of the AOE. Yeah. Exactly to the textbook. Mm. And that was where I discovered that there was the missing module, which was setting up your business. But I'll talk about that in a second.
Good, yeah, because I was going to ask you about that.
Which is why I developed that one.
Yeah.
So we went through the product discovery. We also are living regionally. We've got a sense of what the girls are into down here. There's a shop that opened up that kind of gave us a little bit of a sense of that's an interesting niche that was very defined. It was really easy to identify that particular girl obsession. Yeah. And we just went with a tween obsession area, and it's been highly successful.
Fantastic. And so you looked around in your local area, and that gave you an insight into potential markets and potential products. Do you find yourself now that you've almost got like a radar for product ideas now you've started selling?
Absolutely. But we also did the research online. We also did the AOE research process. So we analysed, it. Once we got the angle, we then went in and analysed and looked at products. Now we've got the ASIN list. Yeah. We're trawling through that now for our particular niche, and we'll probably go with that.
And when you say the ASIN list, again, there's probably some people watching who wouldn't be aware what an ASIN is and indeed what an ASIN list is. So what are those? What are those things?
3 weeks ago, I think you presented one of your hacks, which is new information that's come to the platform, which is pretty extraordinary. And it was presented fully in the Q&As, and I so recommend people attending the Q&As. You learn so much. You cannot do this business without that ongoing update from the Q&A sessions on Monday nights.
Totally, I agree.
It's a particular list that Amazon publishes of the top performing Amazon identifier numbers in the top 1,000 performers in each category. I mean, it's an extraordinary list, and you can see the products that are selling despite themselves. You can see they've got no reviews, they've got they've done no coupons or any strategy to sell it. They've kept it at the same price. It is selling despite themselves.
That's a lovely way of putting that, selling despite themselves, because a lot of people say Amazon is so competitive. So many people selling things on Amazon. Do you buy into that?
Look, there are, and some niches are incredibly competitive, and I like the little niches that people forget about. And
Good.
so
Yeah.
trawling through the pet list for one of my clients, and
Yeah.
people would laugh because I've become obsessed with this, I discovered guinea pigs.
Guinea pigs?
Products for guinea pigs. You know, it's kind of the area that people don't think about, but there it was in the top 1,000, products, a whole lot of products for guinea pigs. And, so when people talk pets, they always think cat, dog, or reptiles.
Yes.
They don't think guinea pigs. And sure enough, and a lot of people have guinea pigs. So there it was, all these products for guinea pigs. So I suppose, if you look at those lists quite cleverly, there's some great opportunities in there.
Yeah, that's good. And I like, and if you were paying attention, Kate just gave you a great strategy there, and also a great product idea to go after. But now, everybody's going to go and look at guinea pigs, but think broader. That's it, guinea pigs is ruined now. Think broader now about other pets and things like that. That's a really savvy insight that Kate's just giving you. And I want to go back to something that you said a little bit earlier as well, because one of the things that you bring to the table is this incredible business background. And so one of the things that you and I often talked about is getting your ducks in a row, making sure you're set up properly. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Okay, so look, this comes from experience, really. Susie has a online business. She works with both her maiden name and her married name. She was a bull at a gate. So as soon as we did the product discovery, she was off checking with suppliers and, off and running and contacting them via multiple different emails because she had multiple different identities. Mm-hmm. Then we were coming back and, I kind of said, stop, we need to just get the domain that we're going to be operating under, we're going to get our emails sorted, because all the documentation from your supplier, if Amazon reviews you, all the documentation needs to be the same. So the domain needs to equal the email addresses, and the entity needs to have the directors that are going to be on the Seller Central. And then your bank account needs to be aligned with the domain name that you're using. So all of it needs, or an ABN. So your ABN needs to be, they all need to be kind of all aligned. Sure. And if you don't have those, I met somebody at the AOE conference, and she'd got herself into a complete, utter tangle with going in with the wrong, because she went in a personal name, and then she tried to go the company and she couldn't change it over, and the bank account was in the wrong. It was a complete mess that was you couldn't unpick it. There was not a way to unpick the mess she'd created. Yes. So I say to people that I'm coaching, look, please just get those things kind of mapped before you start, because if Amazon does a review of your product purchases, the invoices need to be to the entity that is going to be the Seller Central entity. Yeah. The bank account can't be your personal bank account. It's got to be the bank account name of your ABN or your company name. Mm-hmm. The directors need to be the people that are the email holders of the Seller Central account. Absolutely. Get all of that right from the outset, because if you don't, it causes real problems that you'll get into the Amazon kind of net of fraud. You'll just get into situations where you won't be able to get past the machine learning processes that they have in place to catch fraud, and also the customer services will keep rejecting you because something doesn't look quite right, and they won't tell you what the problem is. So just getting that sort of stuff sorted from the outset is, I think, really valuable.
I think so too. I've just gone through the process with a business that we're putting together in the American marketplace, and now what we've done based on the information and those great learnings from you, Kate, is we've actually put together a document that says, okay, well, here's everything we need before we even approach Amazon. Here's the things we need in place beforehand to facilitate going to Amazon and opening the Seller Central account. Here's what must happen beforehand. So, and it is absolutely on the money what you say. Amazon doesn't have thousands and tens of millions of people working there to go and check everything. They've got little robots that do all this for us, and they just have a little checkbox, and if it's wrong, boom, you're rejected. You don't know why. It's super important, as you say.
Hours and hours of wasted time. And
exactly.
The other thing to think about is your address, because the address needs to be consistent. If you're happy for Amazon to have your home address, some people don't like that, and so they find themselves another. It has to be a physical address, so where the physical address is going to be located needs to be considered, because that address needs to be consistent too with what is on your bank statement and on your, your business details.
Absolutely.
So that's another important thing to be consistent with.
And Kate, I know that you're doing, for those of you who don't know, Kate's actually an Amazon coach as well. So not only is she building her own Amazon business and building it very, very successfully as well, but she also helps other people to build their Amazon businesses too. And Kate gets amazing feedback from her clients, and she's helping her clients do great, great things. So no doubt, Kate, you've seen a lot of different people kind of come to the table as far as launching an Amazon business. What's a consistent mistake that most beginners make when it comes to actually launching?
Okay. Look, getting impatient with the research, that can be, the decision of what product it is. It's a big decision, and then getting the packaging right, and it's a frig. There's a whole lot of elements that you've got to learn about and get into play. But once you've got that sorted, you tick over. You get new inventory. And you just rinse and repeat. You do have to check quality ongoingly, but it's once you've got it right, then you keep going. But doing that research and the work at the beginning is actually really important. And look, there's a whole lot of value in having somebody that you can bounce off for that in those initial stages, because you can get up dark alleys by yourself and think, how do I get out of here?
Absolutely.
And I see a lot of people on AOE getting stuck, and paying every month, and sitting there and not executing. And you just want to say, look, just have a product discovery session, just to get yourself on the path. And maybe and this is not a sell, but it's it just helps to be able to put all those questions out there and just have somebody to talk about that gets what you're going through. Yeah,
I have seen, particularly within our AOE community, that there's, generally speaking, two sorts of people that join us. One sort of person is very, very gung-ho. They know exactly what it is that they want to sell. They've already mapped all that out, and they've got a very clear understanding of where they're going to take their Amazon business in 1 year, in 3 years, in 5 years and beyond, and they know their products, and it's all mapped out for them. That's one sort of person that tends to join us. The other person is, they know it's a wonderful idea to sell online. They realize that there's a lot of money to be made doing that, but they're not quite sure what it is they want to sell, or if the idea that they've got is going to fly on Amazon. And really, they just need somebody to work with them one-on-one. It doesn't need to be very long, just for an hour or two, just to give them what they need to move forward. So, and Kate does product discovery sessions, as we call them, PDS, product discovery sessions. She does them and does them really well. So if that's something you're interested in, then get in touch with us, and Kate will be able to do that for you. But Kate, I want to finish up because I know I've taken lots and lots of your time, so I do appreciate that. What about, as far as you see the big opportunities on Amazon here in Australia, what do you see them being?
Oh, look, it's massive. Look, once you can execute in this marketplace, then, there's the potential to, Singapore's going to open up,
yes.
India's opened up, Japan's opened up. There's real opportunities. Once you've got the skills and you start to see the products, you do become quite... you look at the world in a different way once you start looking for products, and you start to build a line, and you get the skills. You start to work your team, your Fiverr team and your package, your Upwork team, and you get your team together that you're confident, so you can move quite quickly if you need to respond to a trend that you're seeing. So I suppose I say build an evergreen business, but get the skills so that you can execute a rapid trend if you need it, so that you can capitalise on time-specific moments, and look at that product range and work out what would work well in other markets. And there's great opportunities going. There are 40, when I say it in my trainings, there's 41 million millionaires in India. I always think it's nonsense what I'm saying, but I have to correct myself. But there's 41 million millionaires in India. I mean, it's an extraordinary market.
It's an extraordinary market.
You're going in, the great unwashed, and forging a path so that the people like us can come in and not execute with so much drama.
Yeah.
And so being involved with AOE is fantastic in terms of that ongoing updating of information. And yeah, look, it's a really exciting time. It's like it's about to open, it's about to happen, and like get hustling. Where it's tricky for Americans to come to Australia, they've got to, because of our regulatory environment. They won't necessarily see this as a truly fabulous market. Because we're not huge. You need a director here, you need a bank account, there's a bunch of things that they need to set up here. That's right. That will stop a bunch of companies coming over. Yeah. Similarly with the Chinese doing the same. So there's a real opportunity for us to, grab it by the nettle and run with it. And that ASIN list is fantastic for the businesses for products that are doing really well in the US. And you go, is there something I can adapt here for this market? It's extraordinary bit of information. So, I suppose I say to people, just get on and do it. Don't do your first product. Make it so that it's not mission critical, that it's not a huge investment, that you're going to have your trainer wheels on. It's a product that you can just go out, you can make a few mistakes. It's not mission critical. And then with those skills, build to a more sophisticated or whatever, product line. But don't make the first one so complicated or expensive or perfect that you never execute, because we can never ever be perfect.
That's fantastic advice. That's really good advice. Kate, I want to say a huge thank you for letting me interview you, and also a massive thank you and I know I speak for a lot of people when I say this, for such a huge part you play within the AOE community, and for helping so many people within our community to build their businesses. I know I speak for a lot of people when I say that we really appreciate that. So thanks so much, Kate, for letting me interview you today, and we'll speak to you very soon.
Thank you for the opportunity.
You're welcome. Hey there, before you go, thank you for sticking around to the end of this video, and I hope that you enjoyed that interview with Kate, a member of our Aussie online entrepreneur community. If you want to find out more about becoming an Aussie online entrepreneur and building your own Amazon business, then check out the link below for a link to the Aussie online entrepreneurs. And before you go, be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. And there's a heap of other great videos in there as well, with some more exciting interviews with very, very successful Aussie online entrepreneur, Amazon FBA entrepreneurs like Kate, that you should go check out too. Speak to you soon. Bye bye.